Hello and welcome to Cleopatra. I'm Christy Bana.
And I'm Lynn Molly, and we're two Middle Eastern comedy queens digging up the funny from the first generation experience.
Our guest today is a comedian and performer based in Los Angeles. She has a show at the High Low called Big Sour Hour, and it's bi-weekly. Please welcome Leanne Velednitsky. Woo, woo, woo.
Yay!
Welcome, Leanne. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm currently house hunting, so this morning I saw 4 different apartments.
Wow.
I'm like a vulture. I go
What
crazy on Zillow.
General area?
I'm trying to stay East Side, Silver Lake, Atwater, Echo Park. If anybody is leaving a house,
Yes. Leave a comment on the YouTube.
comment below.
Was there any like really disturbing finds this morning or anything just out of the ordinary?
No, but one realtor like brought their dog to the showing, and I'm like, well, what if somebody's allergic? You're really sort of just like your dog's here.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Did the dog have any intel on like, I don't know, the plumbing or?
Yeah, definitely didn't like it. The dog definitely didn't like the house.
Okay,
like
good.
yapping.
That would be funny if she was like, but you can't bring your dog here.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
No dogs allowed in this apartment.
I've noticed realtors now because I was looking to move a while ago and then looked at prices and was like, no, I'm not. But the realtors like wouldn't even get off the couch because they're like, you know, you're desperate.
They really do know you're desperate.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They like hardly say anything. It's really sort of like, why are they there? Just do a lockbox at that point. Just let me in.
See yourself in and out. I'm also in just like a perpetual state of house hunting.
Yeah.
And just I'm
It's
always.
why not?
Yeah. And
There's always something better, you know?
Right. Absolutely. It is
And ain't
the
that the truth?
paradox and the illusion of choice as well.
I really suffer from grass is greener syndrome, and I am starting to wonder if this is like immigrant behavior because I know I've inherited it from my parents because they're always like, when we retire, we're going to go to Costa Rica, we're going to go to Puerto Rico, we're going to go to New Mexico. And I'm like, you're not going anywhere. But then I'm always doing this too, where I'm like, I'm moving to Paris, I'm moving to Philadelphia, I'm moving to New York. And I wonder if we're just like dreamers and schemers. Yeah.
You still might.
Move to Paris, Philadelphia, and New York. Cool.
I do envy those people who, like, when you talk to them and they're in their like 30s or 40s and they talk
They're
about,
just living everywhere.
Yeah, they've just lived everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I've lived in these 3 or 4 cities or 3 cities, you know.
3 cities is still a lot.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. But it's all in the U.S. It would be cool to be like, oh, and then I spent a year in Madrid and Barcelona. People are like, look here, Christy, we know it was 1 semester. UC exchange program. The UCs had like...
Did you study abroad in Spain?
I did not.
I did.
How was it?
In Spain?
Yeah.
Did you go to UC?
NYU.
Wow. You also...
I studied
is that-
abroad in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Emerson College.
And you wanted to go to NYU.
I did, yes. Emerson College is where everyone who didn't get into NYU went.
Emerson was my backup.
There you go. And then everyone who didn't get into Emerson went to Syracuse or Ithaca. It's a
I'm dead.
chain of order.
I mean...
That's real.
Look, you could do a lot worse than Emerson, Lynn. It's a great school.
It is a great school.
But I will say, after college, I took 2 courses at Santa Monica Community College, and I learned more in them than I learned at 4 years at
Yeah.
Emerson.
Quick shout out to SMC.
Seriously.
Let's
They're
go.
such a good school. Also, sub shout out to KCRW. Indio Palm Springs, based in Santa Monica. Clearly grew up here. Where did you grow up, Leanne?
I grew up in New Jersey.
All right.
Did we
Immigrant
talk about
hub.
this? I'm
I
from
think
New
we
Jersey.
did, yeah.
Oh, love it. Where
Yeah.
are you from again?
I moved around a little bit growing up because parents got divorced and then a big boom, bada bum, bada ba, different places.
They had a dispute over scatting.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to like harmonize the scats, so they said that's enough. But
More
now,
marriages are ended by jazz disputes in America. It's a statistic. Look it up, ladies. and
We
gentlemen.
both wanted to go
Ladies.
high.
We couldn't say it with me. Harmonize. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, we almost said it together, but we really didn't. But my dad lives in like Central Jersey and my mom lives in North Jersey now.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. Bergen County boots.
Okay, I'm Union.
Quick question. Lynn talks about diners and or malls.
You have to talk about diners
was
and
that
malls
a huge
if you're from New
part
Jersey.
of your upbringing? Okay.
Huge part of my upbringing. Huge.
You are wearing mall brand shorts today.
I am wearing a mall. I am constantly wearing a mall.
Yeah.
But that is also a way that I've related to people from New Jersey. Is like, what mall did you go to?
What
growing
mall
up?
did you go to?
I used to go to Bridgewater Commons.
Oh my gosh, big Bridgewater fan.
And then Garden State Plaza.
Okay, I've been there. We used to drive like
You drive
half
to
an
the
hour
malls
to go to these malls. Yeah.
They're huge. And now the American Dream Mall
Oh boy.
is like 20-minute drive from my house, and it's from my mom's house.
What's
and
the
it's
American
banana.
Dream Mall? And
It's the second largest mall in America.
Well, Christie.
second most to the Mall of America.
It is the American dream, is what it is.
Is it
It's
malls
the American
that
dream.
accept immigrants
There
and employ them
is-
immediately?
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing.
They say, come here, spend your money that you earned in America. It is
Bring
the
me your
craziest
poor,
place.
you're tired, you're paycheck to paycheck.
Yes. Bring your screaming children. There's an amusement park inside of it. There's a water park inside of
Wow.
it. There's like a bowling alley.
water
There's
park in
there's
a mall?
everything.
They're skiing.
There's skiing.
Wow, this sounds like something you'd find in Dubai.
Yeah, but it's in New Jersey.
Wow. Who needs to go to Dubai?
It's also like on a marsh.
It's crazy. No, it's crazy. One of the water slides like goes like outside of the mall and back into it.
Into like festering bog water.
Yeah, so
That's
you
where
can like
end up.
see the New York skyline as you're like swashing in piss water. Like it is amazing.
And
You've
all
got to check
immigrants.
it out.
Yeah, isn't it? It's just like overrun with immigrants. 'Cause
It's crazy.
immigrants love them all.
They love them all. There's nothing better than in the winter. Anytime we would always do Thanksgiving like at my mom's house and such, and we would always like go to the mall for a walk
Absolutely.
because you can't walk outside in the winter, so you walk in the mall.
Wow.
It would literally like doing track and field in the mall.
And
Everyone is-
Friday and Saturday nights at the mall. Like, as a
Crazy.
teenager.
As a
that's, like, where
teenager?
you go.
That I do remember as a
You get
kid.
dropped off and then you buy candy from every candy shop.
My version of that growing up was 3rd Street Promenade here. Yeah, that was very much like, are you going to the promenade after? Also like West Side Pavilion as well.
Yeah.
And eventually Beverly Center and then eventually the Grove.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You work your way up.
You do. You level up, and the Grove is the epitome of all that is
Of everything.
of all that is fancy because it looks like Disneyland.
It's heaven, it's love, it's love, it's light.
Plus the Cheesecake Factory.
Wow.
Did you
yeah.
read Christina Catherine Martinez? Shout out. She had a really funny piece in the LA Times about the Grove.
I haven't read it.
Okay, we'll link to it in the show notes.
I can't
but
wait.
It's really funny. It's basically just making fun of the whole aesthetic of the Grove looks like a cheesecake factory.
The Grove is my favorite place in Los Angeles.
I hate the Grove.
Really? Wow.
I know. But I live right
you can't
now.
do enough laps in there. There's not enough like ground area.
Where's the track? But I live currently in Glendale, walking distance from the Americana and the Glendale Galleria, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of those.
So here's the deal with the Grove. I'm in walking distance. If you can walk to the
So
Grove,
I'm also
exactly.
We know what we like.
We just like a short commute.
We like to walk to our malls.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
so
you would-
funny though that both of us from New Jersey live within walking distance of malls in California.
But you would never walk to a mall in Jersey, right? You would always drive to
No,
Always.
you're
Okay.
driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have parking beyond your comprehension. You know what I mean?
Very ample parking.
You're right. I can't comprehend.
You could not
what
even
that must be
comprehend
like.
it.
So you lived there your whole life basically until college. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is your parents' story coming to America?
A beautiful story. They both immigrated right to Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, which is Little Russia, as we all know. So the origins are pretty Russia-based. My dad was in Moscow and St. Petersburg till he was 27, and then he moved to Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. Classic.
Triple B.
Triple B.
Nobody calls it that until now. Sorry.
There's not a time that's too late to start calling it that.
For the record.
I am waiting for the time, you know?
Thank you for yes-anding the shit out of everything.
Absolutely.
You're such a good comedian.
Oh, I love improv. Don't get me started.
I will get you started later.
Okay, later.
I do call LA Jersey West. Yes or no?
Really?
I do. It's all strip malls. It's all like superficial people.
Sure.
Like, I mean, malls. It all like lines up if you really think about it.
I feel like the Pasadena is kind of the Jersey of
Yeah, I could see that.
LA
Yeah.
vibe.
I've only been to Jersey a couple times, and it was never like enough. I've never covered enough ground. to
Field
truly-
trip.
Yeah.
Okay, get in the car, girls.
Road trip. Making my way downtown. Okay, let's Okay, so Little Russia, Triple B.
Little Russia, Triple B. And then my mom's family's from the Ukraine. And then she moved to America when she was 12 and also to Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. Because her whole family, they spoke all the languages. Not enough languages, you know.
Not enough languages.
She speaks Russian, Hebrew, Yiddish, and English.
Wow.
My top complaint about New York is not enough languages spoken
Yeah.
in a mile radius. So your parents met in Triple B.
They met in Triple B kind of crazily, like a very distant relative gave my dad some sort of package or like some documents that he was supposed to bring to my mom's family. So who knows?
What was
And
in the
ultimately,
box?
I don't know. Ultimately, I need to get more details on that story. I have to be honest. But that's the story that I remember being told. And I literally want to call my parents right now and be like, was that right?
By the way, what was that package?
What was that package?
So your
And
dad's
what's the
trapped.
statute of limitations?
Yeah, what are you guys carrying? But yeah, so that's how they met, is what I've been told. Maybe that's a lie. I don't know. I don't know anything, you know,
That
at the end
does
of the day.
Seem very vague and suspicious.
He had a package. Say
Sure.
more.
No, go ahead.
I
I
don't-
have no more to say is the
Okay.
thing. Like, I don't have any more details.
Okay.
And I am now realizing that I'm at a point in life where I should
Yeah, absolutely.
have more details on
know.
on what that was.
Every time I would ask follow-up questions
Yeah.
with my father, he would just state the
The same
information
thing.
over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Be like, that's not my question. And then I became a lawyer and learned how to cross-examine.
Did either of your parents, like my dad would always do the thing where he was like, I went to school uphill both ways in the snow. Like,
A little bit, yeah. I mean, and he would also, but they do that a lot with like cost of stuff.
yes.
Like my parents were always like, when we moved here, Disneyland cost $13.
But then also, aren't you doing that now? Because I sure am.
100%.
I'm like a burger for $15.
Yeah.
No, I'm always doing that. I'm looking at these homes and I'm like, rent prices are crazy.
Absolutely. Anytime I pay $5, $6, $7 for a latte, I'm like,
We used to be a country, you know?
I still get floored every day.
Yeah.
Like it's Groundhog Day. And
Every
I
day
don't
is a
wanna
day to get
accept
floored.
this amount of inflation. Why? Because companies are still making record profits. Okay, credits. It's all fake. You shouldn't be making record profits if the price of everything. Okay, anyway. But here we are.
Big sigh on that one. Big sigh.
I know.
Thinking about money and stuff.
I'm gonna like table that like capitalist ennui sad moment for later so that we can make progress and not become the Bummer T. Jones podcast. Starring.
Let's be the progress podcast.
I like that.
Changing the world one episode at a time.
One vocal fry at a moment.
You are a co-host now.
Oh, amazing.
Congratulations on this promotion.
Thanks, guys.
So did you have other family growing up in Jersey, or was it basically like your parents?
I have a very small family as it goes in the immigrant world, but my dad's dad and sister came over as we were growing up in the 90s, and my grandpa and grandma and my mom's mom and then her two brothers came over with them as well. And grandma and grandpa lived in Brighton Beach in Brooklyn because that's where they could speak the language. And my mom's one brother was like upstate New York, and then one brother was in New Jersey.
I haven't
But
been to Brighton
small.
Beach. Is there a beach there?
There is a beach there.
Oh.
They're not joking.
What's it like? Is it a nice beach?
Yeah, I grew up going there because we visited my grandma and grandpa all the time, and it's like Coney Island
Got it.
is what's around
Okay.
there. And so there was a big old boardwalk, and there's an aquarium. I was very acquainted with the aquarium as a child.
Yeah.
I loved those seals clap. Go clap, seals. And there's a beach. It's cold most of the year, but during the summer, it's nice.
Pretty cute.
Yeah.
How close is Atlantic City to Coney Island?
Far.
Far. How close are Atlantic City and Brighton Beach? I'm just gonna ask you questions I could Google after
Far.
this.
Coney Island and Brighton Beach are like pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Coney Island's like on the Brighton Beach.
So you were
Strip.
spitting distance to New York City.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I could be wrong here, but I think Atlantic City's actually closer to like Philadelphia than New York.
You are correct,
Okay.
actually.
Look at that.
Good on you. You guys are map. Your map's growing.
I just I can't even situate myself. Even though, all I know is just the states.
I'm a
Not
big map person. I feel like I'm very directionally sound. It's kind of nice.
Directionally sound.
Putting that on my resume. That's amazing.
My boyfriend told me recently that years ago, he was on a job interview, and it was like a group interview. And one of the questions they asked was, "What's your least favorite state?" And somebody said New Jersey, and I like need to get their number to like go
fight.
back. Yeah.
You're like,
To fight.
I only support tech data collection for those purposes. What do your parents do? We always have to check if they had one of our standard bingo.
Honey, they're both
immigrant
computer
jobs.
programmers.
All right,
Of
that
course.
works.
Of course.
Yeah. Engineer,
Duh.
doctor, computers.
Everyone in I'm
Yeah.
very much the black sheep. Everybody in my
Mm.
family has a PhD, boots the house
Yep.
down, math, science, tech.
So did you feel really immersed in sort of the Russian Ukrainian community when you were growing up, or do you feel like there was?
Definitely Russian. I don't know if I would distinguish anyone between Ukrainian and Russian at that time because it was so close to
Right.
everybody just being sort of one in the USSR. But yeah, we definitely like had Russian family friends, and my parents like found community in that way. In New Jersey, there was like different pockets of Russian community that we would like be like, let's go hang out and talk Russian and stuff. Let's do Russian stuff.
Have you been to Russia?
I have. Once when I was like
What was it like?
10. It was cold.
Do you remember? Oh, it was cold. And they're gonna say it was cool.
It was cold. It was cold. I met like a bunch of family members I didn't know existed. And that was cool. It was one of the longest, it was with my dad and my brother, and it was like one of the longest trips I had been on without my mom. So I was definitely missing my mom as a 10-year-old, which is so cute, ultimately. So I was like, Russia sucks because my mom's not here. But it was ultimately cool to see like where my dad had grown up, and we met family that he grew up with, and we actually did a little tour of the school he went to when he was like in elementary school or middle school, and we like my brother and I like sat in on class, and I was like in the English class, my brother was in the math class. Slay, go off. And go off to him.
My brother's also a math genius.
Yeah.
Is that the
You
situation?
gotta have one. You gotta have one.
The one who's doing everything right.
The one who's doing
He's got a
math.
kid
Yeah.
too. Come on.
course.
401k. What's this guy doing?
No, he's killing it.
Yeah,
he's
truly.
awesome too. I love my brother. That guy rules. We just chose different paths in life.
So was like artistry like part of your life early on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was very activity kid. Like I was doing everything. But I definitely was like, I like to dance and I like the theater,
Yeah.
very early.
Oh wow! And how did your parents feel about that?
Ups and downs. My mom is super supportive. Like she's the kind of immigrant who's like, I just want everybody to be happy. You know?
Yeah.
She's like, I came here so you could do whatever and be happy. And that's awesome.
Cool.
It's, you know, my dad goes back and forth, definitely.
Yeah.
More critical of where's my money coming from and when will I tell him where my money's coming from somewhere and do I know where my money's coming from and
You should tell him it's
when can I
coming in
sort
a package.
Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna come deliver it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Fingers
tell you anymore.
crossed.
Yeah.
They do always want to know.
Yeah.
But then it's odd because it's like, I'm not asking you for money. So why do you care?
That's also why can we talk about anything else? How are you? You know, classic stuff. But it's often how's your job?
Yeah, it's always how's your
First.
job.
Yeah. Amazing how much our identity nowadays is rooted in that.
Yeah.
So were you doing drama club?
Of course.
Yes.
Of
Best role you played in
course.
high school. What was it?
In high school, okay, definitely my best role was I did a lot of Shakespeare. I was a Shakespeare
Ooh,
nerd.
cute.
And there was a show where I played like the narrator and like it was a very reimagined Shakespeare. And so one of the characters I was playing was like a vampire from the future.
Classic Shakespeare.
Which was amazing. I did an amazing job. I made it very clear that I was from the future, but a vampire. So I'd say that was really funny to think back on. But yeah, definitely that was a fun moment. But
Have you seen a Shakespeare play recently? Because I was a big Shakespeare head in high school, like
Yeah.
so into it. And I went to see a Shakespeare play recently and I was like, this is so boring. And I'm not sure if it's because like my brain's
Which
gotten
play?
rotten.
I think I saw Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Mm.
It's not one of his
It's
best.
not an
It's
interesting
not one of the
one.
bangers. It's not one of the
Yeah.
top 10. You know?
No.
It also has like a weird kind of like sexual assault plot
Sure,
line
sure.
in it. That's like they tried really hard to navigate around, but it's like
Yeah.
Not enough vampires from the future in that one.
Yeah.
Would've made
No,
it
if
better.
there were, you'd probably like it.
Exactly.
I'll say that.
That's
Not
true.
wrong.
I think my favorite Shakespeare's were Othello and Love's Labor's Lost.
Those are good ones.
I love
two are
triple L.
Triple
L is
L.
also, I don't know.
I
why
love the
keep doing
triples. What are you gonna do?
this. What did you study at NYU?
Acting.
Oh, wow.
acting.
So
yeah.
Tisch?
Yeah, I was in Tisch.
Very cool.
I went to the experimental theater wing.
What does that
Okay.
mean?
It means we get naked every Friday.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh, I'll believe anything you tell me because I
Okay.
did not do any theater, anything really. I
Good.
did actually a little bit I did like one thing in high school. There was something called DTASC. Have you heard of this?
No.
The Drama Teachers Association of Southern California.
Slay.
And it was like I did it for 1 year. And that was the only theater thing I did. But otherwise, I just like, experimental. What did you experiment with?
Everything. It was very like the best way to describe it is very physical based training, which I really liked in terms of acting. We did a style of training called Grotowski, which is essentially physical movement is related, like your emotions live in your body and we're going to get them out no matter physically and painfully. It was also a lot of different, we got like kind of a tool belt of different acting trainings throughout ETW, short for experimental theater wing. We also did a lot of making our own work. So like my senior thesis was a 45-minute show that I did 4 times that I had like 6 weeks to rehearse and write and create and all this stuff. And I cast like 5 people in it and like we created a thing
you
out of nothing, devised work kind of word.
Feel Tisch was like nurturing? Because one of my biggest complaints at Emerson, which is where I did the acting program, was it was very like discouraging. Like the teachers were really leading with like, if you could imagine yourself doing anything else, do anything else. I had multiple teachers be like,
Oh my gosh.
why are you doing this? Like you're bad.
No.
Get out.
ETW was very nurturing. It was like, find out who you are and let's roll on the floor while we think about it. Like it was very goo goo gaga.
Okay, so like
It was kind of like if you think like, oh, a BFA in acting, like what do you think they're doing? We're doing it. We were doing it. We're like have our vocal class. One of our vocal classes would be just like vocal improvisation where literally people are just like then it's like and you and now you and then like we'd like create a song and it was psychotic but amazing. It was so freeing and awesome.
So
I loved it.
I recognize your face from a clown incubator class we once did
For sure.
on like a Sunday, one of those like Catsby things.
Oh, crazy.
From maybe like a year or something ago.
Yeah.
And now that you're saying all this, I'm like, no, this sounds very overlapping with clown.
Yeah, we had clown class in ETW. We did bouffant clown, which is sort of the scary clown that
How many shades of clown are there?
there's a lot of different like there's a lot of different types of clowns, forms and training bases. But bouffant is the clown that's like deformed, and our teacher would truly like throw tennis balls at us and was very like we'd come out as the clown and she'd be like, not funny, and then throw a tennis ball at us and we'd have to like start again.
I needed that training.
Yeah, she was
life.
French too, and she like had done the gosh, what is it called?
I know exactly
Sensitivity
what you're talking
training.
about.
No,
No, the
hadn't done
opposite
that.
of that, the insensitivity.
no, insensitivity
No, I'm saying
training.
she had not done the sensitivity
no.
training.
Is it like le coq?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, you're
the
just
goal.
saying cock. We know.
Yeah, we hear it. You're saying cock. You're saying it loud too.
Yeah. And again and again and again.
But you better believe I loved her class.
We should get tennis balls for boring guests.
There
Absolutely.
you go. There
Not
you go. Not funny.
Not funny.
Again.
I probably would not do comedy if that were the environment that I started in, but I probably would have had a way thicker skin than I do now.
Yeah.
I will say, because I was in an acting program and we're similar, very like cerebral, very like word based. Like I had such a hard time with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I used to see people like you who are like very free in their bodies, and I was so jealous, and just like, it's so beautiful. Like people who can have that kind of like connection in their bodies. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always just like words.
Yeah.
I also grew up as a dancer. So that like I was already very used my body a lot, and I feel like in college I like connected the mind and body in a way that was very beautiful and cool. I know.
That's amazing.
Sorry, I'm a poet also.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
for living in my body.
Sorry for literally being free. Like whatever.
Well, it does inform your stand-up, because your stand-up is so fun and
Absolutely.
like funky and
Yeah.
free and like audience interaction.
I'm a
and
silly little guy.
You are silly.
What kind of stuff do you talk about in your stand-up? Sorry, that's like such a stupid question. But like,
Okay,
I would-
separation
She's
of
so
church and
fun.
state. We can't talk about that. Come see a show. Come to Big Sour Hour, 8:30 Wednesday at the High Low. Thanks.
This has been Cleopatra.
Oh, but what I also wanted to say about NYU studies is that, of course, as per parents' necessity, I got a minor in business from Stern.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you better believe it.
Well,
yeah.
that kind of works out with comedy, because we talk about this a lot. Half of comedy is like the business of selling yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't sort of anything geared towards that. It was sort of like micro and macroeconomics and statistics and marketing.
I did marketing like as my job for many years before I got into comedy. And
Yeah.
what do they teach you in marketing? Like I can't imagine.
It was the most unnecessary class.
what
I
I
also
would
took
think.
like accounting 101,
Oh,
which was
wow.
wild.
So you know how your money is doing for your dad.
Yeah. There is, you can't beat around the bush. I am a Jew. I love money. And I'm pretty into it. I got into like investing, like did the whole pandemic deep
Wow,
dive.
really? Are you
Yeah.
like day trading?
Not day trading,
Okay.
but like low risk,
Okay, cool.
high yield, long-term
You
investments.
should teach a class to female comedians on how to do this, because I'm so desperate to learn. Every day I'm like, I'm going to get into day trading. I'm going to do it in the morning because you trade during the day.
I'm not interested in crazy risky goo goo gaga. I like knowing that my money will just grow.
Do you know what CDs and bonds are? Mm-hmm. You're my dad's dream daughter.
I know what a bond is. It's what's happening right now between all three of us as we. Okay, sorry.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so like then you went to a college, and then what did you do after NYU?
I graduated.
Congrats.
Really, thank you so much. And something about ETW is that we walk across the stage barefoot at graduation.
Another conexion with El Cuerpo.
Literally. We were all goo goo gaga bananas.
Do all the other majors just like roll their eyes so far into the back of their heads?
In like beyond their skulls. We were also one of the smallest studios. We only had like 30 kids per grade. So we were all like very tight. And obviously I dated somebody in the studio. You got to do it.
Yeah, of course.
There's drama everywhere. After college, graduated, did the obvious thing, moved to Brooklyn with some friends. Started auditioning a bunch, was like up at 6 a.m. at Pearl Studios, trying to get my ass in some crazy Broadway boo boo baba.
What's Pearl Studios?
Pearl Studios is a reference that theater girlies will get.
Okay.
Yeah.
For us non-theater girlies,
it's like a rehearsal space / the main audition place. That and like Ripley Greer in New York are where like a lot of auditions are held for theater.
Okay.
And then some things are also at like the Equity Building and things like that. But the like vibe of waking up at 5 a.m. to wait outside the door to write your name down to maybe get an audition.
Feels very like aligned with like the open mic.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
A different kind of grind, but similar vibe of like, you just got to do it.
Were you auditioning for like Broadway musicals and that sort of thing? Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
auditioning
cool.
for anything I could get my hands on.
I think my number one dream job would be to be in the chorus of like a Broadway musical.
Oh, it would be so fun.
Like 42nd Street is like, that's the one.
We did that one in my high school.
Me too.
No way.
I was one of the friends. You know how Peggy has like friends, like 3 friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was one of the like core dance, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was doing a lot of like real boots to house down auditioning. I was also like, throughout college, I'd been on an improv team, and then post-college was doing like indie improv and got onto a sketch team at the Magnet Theater, which was awesome, and started a variety show with my friend in Brooklyn. It was just like doing all the stuff, you know, like running around. I was in like some downtown New Works theater. It was very in like the scene of creation, and it was very much like little artist rat in the city. Had a job, I've had so many random side jobs, but at the time, like my first big job after college was that I was a tour guide on a bus that went like through Times Square area. And it was this bus. It's actually in the opening like scenes of the other two.
I was
like
just
the
gonna
pilot.
say,
It's
yeah.
the bus that faces the side, and there's a big window, and there's 2 hosts. Our names were Scott and Jackie, and we all had scripts.
You were Jackie?
I was Jackie every time on the bus,
Oh,
or
that's-
Scotty and Jackie if it was 2 girl hosts.
That's so wild that
It's
they gave
really
you names.
wild. We had outfits.
Wow, deep cut.
Yeah,
I love that show.
but a lot of improvisers worked there. A lot of like the audition to work there was doing improv. And so that's how I got that job. And I worked there for like a year and a half. It was wild, but I met a lot of like other people through that. And the people who wrote the other 2, I believe they had worked there at some point.
That makes sense.
And the person who was like in the shot was my boss.
Wow. That's like the LA equivalent of working at Universal Studios.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely. Being a little tour guide in New York. It was very silly.
That's
very fun.
Yeah.
It was a cool gig.
How many years did you do that whole life
Of like running around like a little rat? Like 4 years, like till the pandemic, basically, from graduating till the pandemic.
Was it
like
so
3-ish
fun? That
years.
sounds so like fun and
So
thrilling.
fun.
And,
I did so many fun things, like I also started with my other friend. We started like a sketch production team. We like went viral on Facebook a bunch, which is so funny to say now. So we were like making sketches, turning that out. And then I eventually did book a off-Broadway show that I was in for a year, which was awesome.
What was it?
I was in Puffs.
Congratulations.
New World Stages. It is a parody, Harry Potter parody, which it's
cool.
a Potter. I don't know what I'm allowed to legally say, but Harry Potter parody. Guess I'm not in it anymore, so who cares? But
Cool.
yeah, I was in that for a year.
What was like your role?
I was a swing. I was a female swing. So I covered 3 different tracks, 3 different roles, and I would go on at like a moment's notice.
How cool.
It was very fun, very exhilarating. I remember I went on for like the lead once, and I wasn't there every night because only one swing. We had a bunch of swings and like we'd cover different nights. But I remember one night they called me and I like had to come over to the theater within like 30 minutes to play the lead role.
Wow.
Is that
It
the
was
same thing as
crazy.
an understudy?
It's different than an understudy. An understudy is often in the cast, like on stage every night. And like understudy is one of the larger roles. Like usually an ensemble member will understudy a lead, but a swing is often not in the cast.
Okay, but ready
they're
to jump
standing
in.
by. Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like the immigrant parent inside of me is like, how badly does Broadway pay? Is it bad?
You know, it was off Broadway and it was a non-union production. So it wasn't phenomenal, but that and my
The day
other
jobs,
70
yeah.
jobs made it work.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
And like most of the jobs that I had were very flexible. So I could like get, you know, especially with the tour
Yeah,
gig, it
of
was like you
course.
picked up as many shifts
Yeah.
as you want, or you didn't pick up, you know, if I was working more at the theater, I would like not work as much at the tour that week, you know? So I made it work. I was also like I was like teaching. There was a summer that I like taught kids sports at a, I was like the sports teacher at a summer camp.
did you teach it like the experimental theater program?
You know, I really didn't know any sports. I had to Google
funny.
basketball before one day, which
Every,
was
like,
really funny.
80s or 90s show had that episode where the masculine football team had to learn ballet or something feminine to get in touch
Yes.
with their movement and
I
their
would
bodies.
be like,
I'm like, are you
dance,
being
like our
that
warm up
person?
is dancing.
Yeah.
And I'd turn on at that time. I think they all wanted to listen to like something by the what are those? The Imagine Dragons had like a song out that summer that everybody was like, play the Imagine Dragons song. So we listened to Imagine Dragons a lot.
Whenever you hear them now, are you
Yeah.
like, must play basketball?
Must play basketball. Somehow I'm immediately dribbling. Like whatever's nearby, I start dribbling it.
It's that muscle memory, baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when did you move to Los Angeles?
Sorry, I almost burped, but then it like went into my brain instead.
Oh my
Does that ever
God.
happen? We're just like,
Is there
kinda,
a
like,
doctor
skips.
in the house? There's a burp in her brain. That
That's
can't
really
be good.
crazy.
You're a
It
lawyer.
can't be good.
That's
It
the
can't be
same.
good. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I moved to Los Angeles about 2 years ago. I had like a little bit of a journey coming back and forth. Still kind of bi-coastal. I go back a lot. But yeah, just about 2 years.
And what brought you here?
You know, I'd been on the East Coast my whole life. I kind of wanted to try something new. I wanted to expand my universe. It didn't feel like I was like leaving forever because I knew I could come back so easily.
Right.
Especially I could even like stay with my mom and commute into the city, or like I have so many friends there that I go back every few months and I stay with somebody for like 2 weeks and then I come back here. You know, like
amazing.
I knew I would still have that. So I felt like I wanted to expand my universe. I had done the whole, during the pandemic, like road tripped across the country and back, and was in LA for a little bit and was like, it's actually really nice here.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
And I'm such an outdoorsy girl. And that was something that I felt like I didn't get to exercise very much in New York. And I like really am like put pedal to the metal right when I got here, and like have been exploring the outdoors, and it like feeds a different part of my soul that I really wanted to feed. And
What's your favorite
Yeah.
outdoorsy thing to do in LA?
I love hiking. I'm a big hiker. I just went actually on my
Canyon
first.
Grande?
No, I get out of the city. I just went on my first backpacking trip actually.
Wow.
For 3 days, 2 nights up in the Eastern Sierras. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a little sunburn on my nose.
I didn't notice.
I don't see
Yeah,
it.
well, sunburns for us are different. They are just sort of darker.
Yeah.
Was that your first backpacking hiking trip?
It was my first like backpacking trip where I'm carrying the 30 pounds on my
And
back.
like staying in like tents.
Yeah.
Ah, scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I've camped for a long time,
Okay.
but like even growing up, we went camping and stuff.
Oh,
But
that's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like immigrants don't camp for leisure.
my parents were very
they're campers that
outdoorsy.
have to.
Very outdoorsy.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. My dad especially, he's like he does skiing, like all the things we grew up doing. That's why I think I'm very directionally sound, is because he made us orienteer when we were kids. Do you know what that is?
I am imagining it used as a compass.
It's where you have a map and a compass and they say go through the woods and you have to find different like checkpoints.
Oh, wow.
And so we would go to these orienteering matches where it was a race, but I wasn't running. I walked the whole way. I would always come in last because it was like men would go on one trail and women would go on the other trail. So my brother and my dad would go on one and I would go alone on the women's trail and just sort of vibe, slow, having a nice little stroll.
I love that they just dropped you off in the woods and were like, see ya.
Bye. And then we'd have a sandwich after.
What year was this? Were there cell phones?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. So they were
Just
just
hope
like,
I make
good
it.
luck, girl.
Yeah, go off, queen. See you on the
Not
other
too
side.
off, though.
Not too off.
Stay
But
on.
it was like pretty, like, there were
Kinda obvious,
markers.
okay.
I would go on the easier ones and just walk. But it was funny because it was like there was rankings afterwards of like who came in first. And I would always be in last because I was walking. And other
love
people were
this.
running.
So you wouldn't consider yourself to be a competitive person,
Um,
or would you?
I think I love the game more than I need to win. But I love winning. I'll say that.
Who doesn't love winning? Who doesn't love winning?
But they always
Yeah.
say to love the game is more important than to love the win. It's all, loving the process and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So that makes sense.
I love the process.
Yeah. So you said earlier, I think before we were recording, that your mom engages in a lot of your online content.
Yes.
How does she like it? Does she have feedback?
She doesn't engage very much.
She's not liking or subscribing. She's just
She's not liking or
passively
subscribing, but
lurking.
I see her viewing, She's liking, but she's not subscribing. And I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
She just wants to feel involved, and she is.
Yeah.
A lot of, there's jokes that are inspired by that beautiful woman. So
But she's never like, ooh, too much on that one or anything.
no,
Oh,
no.
that's cool.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
She's pretty. Everything's fun.
And then your dad, does he engage in the content?
I think he follows me on Instagram, but that's as far as I know.
Okay.
I don't think he logs on to Instagram very often.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
Okay.
But I know my mom is like coming in to check. She's
Okay.
like, I want to see what's up.
Yeah, but she's never like, that one was funny.
Yeah, sometimes she'll say that.
Oh,
Sometimes she'll
that's
say
so
that was funny.
cute.
She'll
Okay.
never. She doesn't like give critiques, but she will say that things are funny. Which is
Also,
nice.
I should say we are in the presence of royalty because we met at a show in Philadelphia, and
It's true.
afterwards, someone came up to her and said that he followed her online, and that's why he came to the show, and that he was going to go see her improv in LA, which meant he was going to fly across the country to see her perform.
do improv.
At the
I love that
clubhouse.
having a stalker means you're royalty.
Not a stalker,
No,
a fan.
He was very nice.
He was
and-
very sweet. He
But
was
I
very
feel like
sweet.
I rarely see that happen at comedy shows. It was adorable.
Probably watching right now, so thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. I think his
That's
name is
lovely.
Greg.
Yeah, go Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
He came with a friend too.
Yeah. He's so enthusiastic.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine what it feels like to have a fan.
It's happened
Yet.
before. I'll say it. It's coming for you.
One day it's coming.
It
From-
happened
from
to me one time.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
One day. We have fans of this podcast. I'm talking about like a person who would like come to see me for a show that I don't know them already.
Yes, fair.
That
Fair.
happened to me once, and it was a nice Arab man.
Nice.
This is exactly what I would expect.
What you would expect.
Whenever I see a nice Arab man in the audience of any show, I'm like, how did you come to find them? I always assume they're there for me.
And so, how'd you get here? Let's check in.
And then they're just like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I'm just here because I live down the street. I'm like, okay, I'll settle down a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Okay, this isn't about me.
I'm not sure I believe you, but okay.
That's very don't make me sing energy.
Don't make me
Please, no pictures.
please.
So we have some questions we'd like to ask you. The first one is, Cleopatra was the queen of luxury. What's a luxury thing that you do not skimp on?
I'm trying to pick one. Yikes.
I guess rattle them off, baby.
Listen, you got to treat yourself. But I think one luxury item that I like every time somebody comes into my home, I'm like, by the way, here's my Nespresso machine.
Oh,
By
yes.
the way, take a look. It's gorgeous.
By the
sleek. I've had it. I got it for myself, like for my birthday in 2019.
Nice.
And ever since, I'm just like pointing at it. Like it perpetually
It's
just,
great.
there it is. And I buy like all sorts of flavors. I'm having a good time.
in a way, that's even money saving because
Yeah, it's only like $1 per pod.
when with our $10
Okay.
lattes,
Yeah.
skipping trips to go get them.
I will say, I will have a lot of those like in a row though, because you just have like one little like Nespresso, and then you're like,
Well,
that
no,
didn't feel
they make full cups
okay.
in
I
the
think
pod.
I am staying in a sublet, and she has an espresso, and
It's
so I
only
bought
espressos.
Yeah, it's only the espressos, and so when I
She's
have
not as
one,
fancy as I am.
Yeah, must have like the nicer
And mine's
one.
gorgeous, by the way. Thank you for asking.
What color is it?
Black, sleek.
Sleek. Yeah.
Sleek.
Classic.
Classic.
What's another luxury?
Another luxury, probably massages.
We've never
That's-
heard that one. That's
I'm not
really
like,
good.
I do go for cheaper ones.
Yeah.
And I used, and Massage Envy, I'm so sorry, but they used to have a deal where if you went to a Massage Envy, you'd get like a discount for going to that location for the first time. And then after 3 months, you could go to a different location, and that could be your first time. So I went to a lot of locations in New Jersey when I was like,
Oh, this is in New Jersey.
I started getting massages because I was doing like competitive dance, and like that was like something that my mom would give me as like a birthday gift or something. It was like a coupon to Massage Envy. And I just like had my list, and I was like going to different ones around.
Spreadsheets.
Yeah. And now I get like the Thai massage places that are kind of cheaper.
great.
Those
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah.
And they go out, yeah. But every once in a while, I'll like treat myself to like and not like, I'm not getting them every month, but like every few months or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Good one.
yeah.
It's as somebody who's very in touch with her body,
Somebody else needs to be in touch.
somebody
with
else
it
needs
too.
to be in touch with it too. Exactly.
We've had a couple of guests recently say sheets, and I've DM'd them all separately to be like, what are the
Which?
good sheets? And they both have messaged back Amazon. And I'm like, that's not. Send me
the link.
Like, what are the sheets?
Send me the link. Send me a code.
No, we don't want to be buying our sheets from Amazon if we can avoid it.
I'm such a big like, oh, you want to sign up for that? Like, oh, I have a code. I'm obsessed
Ooh,
with
okay.
that. Oh, I have a code. oh, no. Don't yet. I have a code.
Girl, were you
All about
part
that.
of Lyft in 2016? Because everyone had a little fucking code that they were like, my
Yeah.
sister was always like, here's my code for Lyft.
Oh, and thank you for asking. I was a part of that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Why do I feel like you have a clothing rental box with a code?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't do clothing rentals because
Okay.
it's not for me.
Fair, but-
Shape wise or vibe wise.
I just feel like all my girlfriends are always like, do you want a code to this? Do you want a code to that? Do you want a code to this? I'm like, no, I'm not getting you any money.
I did during the pandemic. I found this one. Well, there's multiple that I've done really well on, but there was one during the pandemic called Naked Wines that a lot of people were doing. And if you like gave your code out to somebody, you would get $40 per person, and they would get a $60 coupon. And I'm pretty sure I got like $460 worth of free wine.
I definitely did that. I took someone's code during that.
I really was like, advertising.
They should have just hired you.
They really should have. But then I was putting back those wines, I'll say it.
Yeah, just throwing them back.
All summer we were like,
sangria degree.
more sangria. Like, just like it was like a brew house of sangria in my apartment.
You made it, or was it bottled sangria?
We made it with like all because the wines, like some of them were good, some of them were bad, 'cause it was all like homemade, like independent wines, which was interesting. So you'd like taste a bunch of different things that people made, but if you put it in a sangria, yeah, it's like people
It's like
independent,
moonshine, but fancy.
pretty much, yeah.
Moon wine, that'd be a good one.
That was definitely a good coupon vibe.
Question number 2. Cleopatra wasn't actually Egyptian. She was actually more Grecian, but she embraced a lot of Egyptian customs. So are there any Russian, Ukrainian customs that you feel like you really hang on to, or alternatively any American customs that you've super embraced?
There's one that I'm thinking of that I don't know if this is particularly Russian, but my dad would, whenever I was sick, he'd be like, just bundle up in a lot of clothes and go stand outside and sweat in the freezing cold.
What?
That is wild. My mom's the opposite.
Like go freeze and sweat at the same time, and it'll go away like that.
Did you ever try it?
I think so.
Did it do anything?
I think so. So
Sweating.
there's definitely that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that are just too ingrained in.
Yeah, it's the water we
me.
swim in. Sometimes we don't really think of it as something separate.
As water. What? The water we swim in?
You know, like how that like parable of an older fish swims by 2 younger fish and asks them, "Hey boys, how's the water today?" And then swims past them, and then the younger fish says to his friend, what the fuck is water? So it's like they don't even understand the context in which they live, because they just fell out of a coconut tree.
Oh no.
I've never heard that.
Okay.
That kind of reminds me of this is another segue that's going nowhere, but in I always think about this in 100 Years of Solitude. There's at one point where like these kids or something feel ice for the first time, and they're like, wow, it's so hot. And then the person who like gave it to them was like, no, it's cold. And they're like, mind blown. And I feel like it's the same thing. It's like you don't know what something is if it hasn't been contextualized.
You should show those people icy hots. They're gonna go
Like,
crazy. What the heck?
Icy to dull the pain.
Yikes.
Hot to make you forget where you're from.
So true.
It's really an existential medication. Topical.
Nah, it feels really deep.
First time I tried icy hot, I was like,
This stuff's nuts. Was that a positive or negative reaction?
that's great. I was like, what? As promised. It was both.
Yeah, they're not kidding.
Yeah.
When have you ever tried to go over 8 hours? Because they say don't keep it on for over 8 hours. I've tested that limit.
And
Totally fine.
Went on a real
I
bender.
feel like that's most things, though.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just do what you gotta do.
Someone told me, a friend of mine who has 2 kids, that all these things say like, warning, like could be a risk if you're pregnant. And the truth of the matter is like there isn't like actually a known risk. It's just the FDA hasn't like thoroughly tested it. So like ladies,
That's fair.
do mushrooms.
Ladies do mushrooms.
Ladies, have you heard of Tiger Balm? It's the original icy hot. So we have another segment called Dig Deep. This is where we ask the deep questions. The first one I will ask. So Cleopatra was portrayed by Liz Taylor in the very famous 1963 film. If your life were a crossover of 2 TV shows or movies, what would they be? And who would play you?
I guess I gotta go with my with my gut here, probably SpongeBob SquarePants
Okay.
would be one of the would be the TV show, and then maybe the movie would be. Trying to think, what's a crazy movie?
Could also be another TV show.
Oh, it could be another
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Could be 2 movies, 2 TV shows, a movie and a TV show.
You guys, I was freaking out.
No.
I was like,
Only
I don't
because-
know any movies.
You said that you did this as a costume. I do kind of see Broad City for you.
That's true. Definitely could do Broad City for sure.
I also see did you guys see the movie? I think it was called Theater Camp.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so good.
absolutely.
Yeah, very, very
Sort of
fun.
exactly my
I
life.
very much see when you were describing like rolling on the floor and all those
That's
exercises.
me for sure.
Or chorus line, I could also
Okay,
see.
okay, we're getting into it.
Yeah.
Broad City, I once was told by and this is awesome, but I was once told by like a casting director that I was a darker Alana Glazer.
Ooh,
I was like,
What a
okay.
compliment.
vibes.
Okay,
gets a
an
lot
ethnically
of-
ambiguous Alana Glazer.
I get that a lot as well.
Yeah, I bet.
And
I feel like if you have curly hair and are funny, they're like, you're Alana Glazer.
Yeah, you're like 5'3" or shorter. They're like, that's Alana Glazer. Good
and you have
morning.
like Middle Eastern
Ish
anything
vibes.
in your lineage.
Yeah, you've met a Jew once. That's Alana
That
Glazer.
counts.
That counts.
Mark it.
Put her in.
And then the second question is Cleopatra had a storied legacy as a scholar and a leader, among many other things. What would you like your legacy to be, and or what would you like your epitaph to read?
What is an epitaph?
Oh, your headstone.
Touchdown.
Oh. Oh.
Yours is just going to have you
Or
experimental
your
dance.
urn. Could be your urn if you're planning on being a creamy gal. Cremated.
Creamy gal.
We're rebranding.
I'm writing that on my passport, looking to be a creamy gal. Or where do you, on your driver's license it says or something when you
I don't
register?
think, I think that just goes in your will, creamy gal.
Really?
Yeah.
My creamy gal will. No, I want to be buried. But thanks for asking. So I'll have an epitaph.
EpiPen.
EpiPen. I'll have an EpiPen down there with me, just in case I get scared. Let's see. Legacy. Such a nice guy. And epitaph, which I totally love that word. It would read such a nice guy.
I love that.
I love that so much.
Just what a fun guy.
Look at this.
Oh
This
my
guy.
God. This guy? Oh yeah.
You know
we
this-
like that guy.
You know this guy?
You like this guy?
We got to get
Really
this
good.
face on it,
Oh,
too.
such a nice guy. Eyes in the back of your head. Such a nice guy.
It is weird when people put on the headstone the picture.
That's crazy.
I
Don't,
get it.
just don't.
It feels like you know when you're in cemeteries and then it's just like their face and it's like
Yeah.
Okay, but what if you're like so famous?
Okay, go off.
You know, like
That's
Well,
fair.
then it's like people know what you look like already. You got to rub it in.
There are a lot of non-famous people buried in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and that have you guys ever gone there?
Yeah,
We
course.
weren't there together.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
am I asking you that?
No, I've never been.
Okay, highly recommend.
the movies.
They
not
have a
just the cemetery.
Cinespia.
Oh yeah, but they're usually spooky.
No, they're not.
No,
No, I've seen
I'm
like
scared.
Rami and Michelle there.
Yeah.
I've seen like
Okay, you guys are mad
Never
at me.
ending story. I saw it there. What did we
Well,
see
once
together?
again, I
Oh,
don't
we
know
saw
any
Pee-wee.
movies, so
oh yeah,
yeah.
you can see your first movie there.
Okay, that could be good.
Boy, oh boy,
Introduction to movies.
you're gonna be so surprised.
Wow.
It's gonna be really great.
It's like TV but longer.
You guys are crazy. You guys are driving me nuts. That's not possible. How could it get any longer?
Do you in your family, do you guys talk about death or the afterlife or conceptualizations of that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, Jew death. We really Judith death. I don't know. I like the way the Jewish culture deals with death. That you kind of have a period of time for mourning, and it's just very like, let's celebrate this person and not, you know, I don't know. It feels very immersive, and I like that.
What's the afterlife in like?
You're going to heaven.
Okay.
There's no hell.
There's no hell.
No, we don't need it.
What are we doing in these other religions? I don't even know what Islam. I don't know if there's a hell.
Yeah, and so okay, so you guys,
Yeah.
and so you feel like that is a part of what you believe and how you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I like that. I like that part of it. I'm not very religious as a human being anymore, but you know, there's definitely parts of Judaism that I really connect with, and it's, you know, become more than a religion; it's a culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I really,
Beautiful.
there's a lot that really resonates with me.
Well, Leanne, that is the end of the episode.
Holy moly!
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything you'd like to promote?
Well, I don't know if you heard, but 8:30 this Wednesday, and then twice a month on a Wednesday nights, it's Big Sour Hour at the High Low in Atwater. It's so fun.
Where can people find you?
Online. It's my Instagram is Leanne Vely, Vely.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. This has been so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, rate, subscribe, all those things. And until the next time, I've been Christy Bana.
I'm Lynn Molly.
And I'm Leanne Velednitsky.
Bye-bye.